Joining me now at the NALS conference in New York is Robert Bolwell of Dutton, Gregory Solicitors, our legal speaker here today.
Thank
so
you.
welcome back. Now, lots of legislation has gone through in the last year.
Yeah, an awful in the last year.
There's more to come.
There is more to come. A lot of people don't realise that last summer the government published two new bills. One which I think concerns a lot of people is the Immigration Bill of 2015, which is chugging its way through what's called the committee stage of the House of Lords at the moment. Now, one of the things this bill does is it brings in a whole new raft of illegal activity. So, for example, if you're a letting agent or a landlord, and you don't necessarily do the correct or the complete checks on people coming into your property, that can in certain circumstances be a criminal offence. That could also mean eventually a big fine or even as much as 5 years in prison. So that's one of the areas which I think there are some concerns. But a lot of civil rights activists are also worried about what the new legislation, if it becomes a statute, what the new legislation might mean for illegal immigrants. So, for example, under the new proposals coming forward, it would be a criminal offence for an illegal immigrant to have a job in this country, which is pretty draconian. There's also going to be provisions if the government is accepted, government ideas are accepted. There will be provisions to make it illegal for you to drive a car if you are here without the appropriate permit. But I think from my point of view, the most worrying thing is the suggestion the government is making at the moment that in certain circumstances you could be evicted from your home without any hearing before a court, without any judicial review, and it will literally be the first time in generations when that's going to be possible. So there are genuine concerns which a lot of human rights lawyers are voicing at the moment, and which hopefully over the next couple of weeks the House of Lords will reflect on and make the appropriate amendments.
So these are all things that agents need to be aware of, because clearly if they don't comply, as you mentioned, there's heavy fines.
Yes, and say there are rafts of legislation up and running. In certain parts of this country, Wales for example, they've just published a new piece of legislation which runs to 204 pages, which when it's fully implemented, which could be a year or so away, will completely change the structure of letting a property in Wales as we know it. And you've probably heard the other speakers here today talking about the right to rent legislation. From the 1st of February, there will be compulsory checks, or there have been compulsory checks on people not just renting your property, but people who might be occupiers of your property. Now, we don't have that in Wales yet, but it's going to be coming. So it's more legislation, and I have to say, it's more time that letting agents have to spend worrying about what they should or should not be doing, time which for your average letting agent is not going to be very profitable.
Indeed. I mean, do you see one of the benefits of this event really for agents to actually see what's coming down the pipe so that they can actually prepare? Because for these things coming in, they're going to have to put in new protocols, new systems.
Yeah, I have to say, I would hope that as a NALS agent, most of the people here today will know about the legislations coming over the last 12 months because they get regular updates from NALS. They are a part of the rental sector which by and large is very well educated. I mean, if you are going to rent a property or let a property, you want to make sure that you have the appropriate logos in the window of your letting agents. But that's NALS agents generally. I would hope that warning them about what's coming down the road, so to speak, will enable them to at least get some protocols on board to get their staff at least in the know, as it were, about what they might have to be facing in 12 months' time.
Absolutely. So really quite challenging times ahead for agents, but I guess we could say that it's going to be the educated and informed agent that is going to survive.
Yeah, I think we've had a phenomenal growth in the number of letting agents over the last 10 years. I think the number of letting agents will probably be consolidated over the coming 12 to 18 months, but there is still an incredible, insatiable demand for rental property. So it is a great time to be an agent, provided you position yourself in the market appropriately. You need to be well educated. You need to be able to have sensible conversation with tenants and landlords. You need to know what's coming. But above all, you need to have the knowledge to be able to get a good service out to your clients.
And hopefully we will see the media sort of celebrating the good guys, the guys here that are voluntarily committing to professional standards and being compliant. We'll see them being recognised rather than just this blanket tarring of all agents and landlords with one brush.
Although things are changing in Scotland and Wales, in England at the moment, there is no move towards registration or licensing of agents, which I personally think is a bit of a pity, because the industry is not good at trumpeting its successes. It is quite good at hiding the bad agents. estate agents who don't give the proper support to landlords and tenants alike. But events like this help you realise that there is a hardcore of good, decent agents that we can all trust out there, just willing to give a brilliant service.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your contribution here today, Robert.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.